Daren Redmond for Redmonds Wrap Up, brought to you by FHT Sports. We're here 5-6 days a week from 10 p.m. PST. That's 1 o'clock at night on the East Coast for you late night people. Got a lot we want to talk about today. And first thing I want to do is we want to wish all the best, great luck, safe, enjoy yourself to the Fresno Junior Monster hockey team. If you don't know the story about this team, the Pee-wees last year, the Pee-wee hockey team won the state championship in California. It was a great thing to watch. Really shocked the travel hockey community in and around California, out on the West Coast, especially you play outside the state sometimes or whatever, because you have these teams that are fully funded, fully sponsored by the Anaheim Ducks, by the Los Angeles Kings, by the San Jose Sharks, and a group of kids in Fresno with some great coaching and great continuity got together and beat them all. I think they won every tournament they were in, and then they went to the NorCal Finals, lost in 7 overtimes against a wonderful San Jose Shark team. Those girls played tremendously, and it was a great game, and they're so talented, those kids. And both teams went to, because if you finish first or second in NorCal, you made it to the finals, the state finals for Caja, and Fresno won it all. So the remnants of that team that stayed Pee-wees this year, they continue to have a nice regular season. They won a very prestigious tournament up in San Jose that earned them the right to go to Canada, and they're up there right now. Their first game is 5:30 our time. Some of us will be up making sure what's going on and reporting all the great action. So let's wish them well, the Pee-wee Fresno Junior Monsters, as they are up outside of Canada, right between Toronto and Niagara Falls. Saw some pictures. We'll be doing some reporting during that. So great stuff. All right. I want to talk about a couple of things. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. I just wanted to get the social media postings out, let them know that we're here. As you know, we do this every night, 10 o'clock. Usually, like I said earlier, 5-6 days a week. We definitely do it Monday through Friday. Maybe a Saturday if there's something going on. But we'll leave the weekend to the family, and we have a child that plays travel hockey, so a lot of times we're on the road. Anyway, I want to talk about this sideshow, this carnival clown car sideshow that is the NFL coaching situation as we see it right now. And we're going to dive deep, and it's not going to be one of these things. Let's try to get clickbait. Let's try to like make attention. And the funny thing is, if you saw, and thank you so much, overwhelming private responses we've received on our talk about the servitude, the indentured servitude that the college players were in. And I had one gentleman really railed me, and he was so passionate. And that's what I like because we live in a world and we don't get political on this show. So there's no but how. We don't get political on the show. It's funny sometimes when two people can knock heads, disagree, and it's okay. It's cool. It's just to disagree. We look at things both ways, similar backgrounds, this or that, and they kept saying yesterday. They kept saying, "Well, nobody's going to draft these kids anyway." Well, then nobody drafts them. Give them the choice. Again, why do you not allow them? If all the fallacies that they're not big enough, they're not strong enough, well, if they're not big enough, not strong enough, and they gambled and they lost, they move on. They can still go back to school. Not on a scholarship, but it's a decision they make. To take that decision away from them is servitude. And again, I want to see a cogent, in my opinion, a cogent reason why people who play NCAA high-level football cannot declare for the draft when they want to. Why in hockey you can do it. Serge, the hockey guru, went over that wonderfully last night. After one and done in NCAA basketball, right? It hasn't hurt the sport at all. And if you're going to tell me it's because they're bigger and stronger, well, I'm sorry, hockey's a more physical sport. Just is. And it has no shine again. Well, it's not a 300-pound lineman who's not allowed to hit his head anymore. And I'm not saying they should be able to. But anyway, my point is, you have indentured servitude for a couple of years, until 3 years after high school in the NCAA. You just do. So But I liked all the interaction we had. It's fun because we can talk and we learn some things. So let's talk about, now look, if you've been watching me and following me first, thank you very much for that, right? But you know that I grew up a Jet fan. Jet fan, Pittsburgh Steelers when I was younger, and now it is the Oakland, soon to be Vegas. Well, we haven't decided yet, right? We haven't taken a poll yet. Like those very thin-skinned Golden Knight fans, and again, I like the Golden Knights, but just call me by my right name. With a Vegas Golden Knights, not the Las Vegas Golden Knights, whatever it is. Let people make mistakes. Right? What are you, Captain Perfect? So we had some people doing commentary at one time who said Las Vegas Golden Knights, said Golden Knights, and people were in an uproar, as if somehow that makes you less of a fan of a sport. Anyway, so we don't know if Oakland's going to be the Las Vegas Raiders or the Vegas Raiders. I don't know. The not Oakland Raiders, who knows? Anyway, so I forgot what I was going to say. It's why it's great it's live. No, so I'm a Jet fan. I've been a Jet fan for a long, long time, though I stopped watching every minute of every game when you're out traveling, covering sports like we do, building our brand. But they have a long history of making really bad decisions as coaches. There are coaches that I like that some don't. I have a wonderful friend of mine. She is so knowledgeable in hockey, so knowledgeable in baseball, so knowledgeable, and Barbara, you know who you are, and so knowledgeable in football. She doesn't like Herm Edwards. I've loved Herm Edwards. Absolutely loved Herm Edwards. My three favorite coaches is kind of easy for me for the Jets. Was Bill Parcells, of course, Walt Michaels, who, by the way, was extremely knowledgeable. And he was actually coaching the New Jersey Generals at one time. I'm sure that's what you guys all remember from the USFL. And Herm Edwards. And Weeb Eubank, he doesn't count. I was alive for that Super Bowl. Yes, I was. But I didn't see him coach enough that I can remember. So, he's sort of in a special asterisk place. But, you saw some really good football under those guys all of them, I believe, getting into the AFC Championship game, right? The A.J. Dewey game with Walt Michaels, Bill Parcells with Denver, leading 10-0 at the half, but weren't able to make it happen. And I'm not sure with Edwards. I think we made it. We made it to the championship game, and we weren't able to close the deal, but not bad. So this coaching carousel, this sideshow. Stay with me on this nonsense, okay? So you see these guys that are in, and some of this will be glib, but some of this will be real analysis. What's the rush? The season just ended, technically. In baseball, you can't do this till after the World Series because we got to get ready for the draft. It doesn't, look, you're going to have your draft board. You're not going to make your final selections till a week before anyway. So if you want to tell me it's about the draft, just repeat after me. And just be an actor on stage. Just follow the cue cards. Because it has I can't say it has nothing to do with it, very little to do with that. Because the ownership and who they're going to hire puts kind of all of that into the mix when they make a selection. But who are these guys? Who are these guys? I mean, I forget the poor gentleman's name, but there was a rumor earlier in the day that the current Baylor coach was going to be named the Jet head coach. He coming off of a stellar career at Temple, where he soiled the bed and just did a lousy job. 1 year as an offensive line coach in the NFL with the New York Giants, and then he was at Baylor, and he took them to the Cotton Bowl, Rose Bowl? I should know. Nothing, losing record. Now you're gonna say, well, this person had a losing record, and this person. And that's true. First off, there's a little bit of elite status when I'm talking about the Jets because I am or was a Jet fan. We'll talk about some of these other places too in a minute. We're not just talking New York, but they are so bad. They are so bad at picking coaches, and they kind of fall right into that BS narrative that you're going to get. And then you get somebody on, and they're going to do this whole thing, right? Or they're going to say, well, and they'll come up with some stat they pretend is important. Well, it might be important to them, Daren. May be. But let's look at facts. You ever go for a job interview? I have. What's your resume look like? Does your resume show that you had a head coaching job and you failed miserably? All right, you made one playoffs. Talking about Gase right now. The choice, this wonderful choice to come to the biggest city in America, to share a stadium with the Giants. But he looks good in a hoodie. Got the 5 o'clock shadow going. Yeah, and I got a little bit of mine too, but it's 10 o'clock at night. And he walks around like he eats a salad. So he's got that look, right? He's got that look. He's got the Kliff Kingsbury look, right? With the Cardinals. There's another team. Same look, same guy. Clones. They got this chiseled clone look now. We have to look younger. Well, how about you get the best person for the job? Now, you might, how do you know, Daren, if they're the best person? I don't know. But I know USC wasn't lighting the world on fire. Much less the fact that you were going to take one job, then you weren't going to take it, then a better job came along, whatever the case may be. And in terms of Gase, losing record. Well, he's going to work good with Donald. He'll be very good with Donald because he's sort of a quarterback whisperer. He works with Peyton Manning. Nobody works with Peyton Manning. Nobody works with him. I'm going to tell the Terry Bradshaw story in a minute. But nobody works with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning says, and I quote, "Get out of my way. I respect you. Hold the door. Hold my clipboard. I'm going to go win some Super Bowls. I'm going to do some things." So don't tell me he worked. Don't tell me that he worked with Peyton Manning because you're just drinking that Kool-Aid. But let's look at his career. Let's look at Gase's career. The mighty Gase. All right? Who did he work with? Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler. Remember when Jay didn't want to go to the Jets? Best thing for the Jets. They talked him out of retirement. You have some quarterbacks with some real good skills on the sidelines, or you can draft somebody second, third, fourth round, and even if they're just, they're a Band-Aid. Jay Cutler, how did he do? Did he listen well to others? Did Jay Cutler listen well to others? I don't think so. It was a sideshow. Is Tannehill really that great? I gotta be honest with you, he takes a little bit of a beating that he shouldn't. He's not awful. He's not awful. Throws the ball a lot better than that kid from Baltimore can't throw a ball. He throws it, the guy in Baltimore, Taylor, he throws a ball like he's falling off a fence. But Tannehill has trouble picking up defenses. He's not a great quarterback. What was Gase done there? Has he projected? I mean, has he ascended and gotten better every year? No. So we must be talking about his extensive work with the legendary Brock Osweiler. And I'm mispronouncing the last name. My apologies. Remember how good he was? Stellar performer. Well, he did good when he was with Gase. And did it last? Well, he wasn't with Gase. No, if you actually taught somebody something, they do it when you're not around. So tell me again why he's feisty. I read something, today. They said, well, Jet fans, and I don't remember being asked. I'm a Jet fan. Jet fans didn't like Todd Bowles because he wasn't vocal enough. No, we don't like him because he lost. We don't like him because he wasn't a very good head coach. He had some talent on that team, and he did nothing with it. Now, Todd Bowles has been hired by Bruce Arians. And by the way, as a coordinator. And you know what? He's a great coordinator. And I'm not saying he should never be a head coach again. You learn from it. Belichick didn't do a great job with the Browns. And that's my point. If you want to start again, you start at the Browns. People don't realize New England was not a great job. New England was not a great job when Belichick took over. You know, I mean, they did go to Super Bowl, you know, with Bledsoe and you know, with the remnants of Steve Grogan. But New England was not a great team. And he went from the Browns after telling the Jets go take a hike. So you got people like that. You got Kliff Kingsbury. What has he done? Other than he looks that look. He's got that look. Let's walk around. They show the same propaganda film, right? They show the same propaganda. He's in the shirt. He's thin. He's walking around. He's in control. He's the young guy. Get the young guy. We need a young guy. Really? You need a young guy? I don't remember Belichick being ID'd to buy a beer lately. Really? You need a young guy. They're funny. You know, Mayfield sat in on the coaches' selections for Cleveland. And who would he pick? Kitchens, Freddie Kitchens. He's a guy I like. Because you know what? If you watched him on Hard Knocks, he just minds his business. Minds his business, do his job. He looks like one of these guys, and again, not aesthetically look, but from seeing what he does. Gets in early, works late, roll up your sleeve kind of guy. And the best part was, Mayfield wanted him. And they selected him. And I thought that was a good thing. And shame on those, and yes, I use the word shame. Shame on those who think it's not good that Baker Mayfield was involved in the process. Well, you should be able to do it. No. The hiring up in Green Bay, you don't think Aaron Rodgers is part of that? Again, another guy from central casting of the NFL. Now, let's look at the selection from Denver. Shakes it up a little bit. For Denver, the defensive coordinator of the Bears. Talk about a guy striking when the iron's hot. Bears always had a decent defense. This year they were a little better with Khalil Mack, a lot better. Though I felt like, you've heard me say this, no shade against Khalil Mack, but it really was about the pressure from the middle. The defense. If you really study, it's the pressure from the middle. Khalil Mack's a very fine ball player. Shouldn't be on offense with the 2-point conversion, Bears. Don't blame your kicker for a bad decision by your head coach. Terrible decision. Khalil Mack on offense on a 2-point conversion. Hey, let's recap. What did you lose the game by? Stupid play. And you know what? You learn from it. You try something, you learn from it, you move on. You can't unscramble an egg. But so you take the defensive coordinator from the Bears, you put him in Denver, watch them go after Derek Carr. Watch them go hard at Derek Carr. Because Denver has some players. And I think Derek Carr, I think he should stay in Oakland, Vegas. You know, if him and Gruden could play nice together. But the truth is, if they can't, 2 places for him. And welcome to the guys who just came on. 2 places for Carr, New York Giants. Because right now, Giants, you got a 5th or 6th pick, whatever the case may be. Stay away from these wannabe quarterbacks in the first round. You don't need them. I know you don't want Flacco, but you're just getting somebody for a year until, Tua or Lawrence come out. And he get involved in that. But if you're lucky enough to get Derek Carr, who did not throw an interception the last 7-8 games of the season, and was literally thrown to nobody. I think one time there was a mop. I think there was a mop and a soda machine out there, and they had to catch balls for Derek Carr. If you go to Giants are loaded. And you know what? I don't think Eli leaves the team. I mean, Eli just step back, become a backup, stay with the team, get your jersey retired for the 2 Super Bowls. Tom Brady has never beaten you. Tom Brady has never beaten you. Okay, or go to Denver. Derek Carr maybe goes to Denver. I'd like to see him stay with the Raiders. Okay, so let's go back to what we're dealing with right now. Bruce Arians. This I thought was solid. Tampa Bay is doing some things they're always close, right? You keep thinking that the Tampa Bay is just going to get to that next level. Like the quarterback, he needs some help. What he needs Bruce Arians. He needs a person. What did Bruce Arians do? He brought in seasoned coordinators. And they're like, well, you don't like Todd Bowles? I don't like him as a head coach. I love him as a coordinator. Not saying he can't be a head coach again, but Arians comes in. He brings that Buck team a little stability. What did Tony Dungy do? He brought that Buck team stability. Never won a Super Bowl with them. Won it with the Colts, and then went to the Colts. And you know, so I see him working with Watson. I like a lot that pick. I like the pick in Cleveland with Strange. I mean, with Kitchens, Strange. With Kitchens, that was a great choice. Why? His quarterback bought in. The quarterback is the franchise. And if you're going to be sanctimonious and say, well, this or that, you know, like, well, it can't be that way. The Browns have been awful forever. Here's how bad the Browns were. I mean, they were losing forever, though those Brian Sipe teams were very good. Very good. And Ozzie Newsome. And by the way, great job, tip of the hat, God bless to Ozzie Newsome, who's retiring as a very successful GM of the Baltimore Ravens. Right? So, you know, first off, great job there. But the Browns were awful. Whenever you see the Browns in this game win, I tell you how awful the Browns were. The Ravens used to be the Browns. Were so like, let's just get the hell out of here. They packed up, they left, and they said, here, take your name, keep the Browns. Take all your records. We take none of it. We start anew. Paul Brown, roll in his grave, doesn't matter. Sorry, Paul Brown, we're going. Take it. And I want to see the Browns do real well. You know, I was a little suspect of Baker. He does a good job. And so I like this Kitchens pick. I do. I love the Arians pick. But this central casting out, wait a minute, Daren, isn't that kind of reverse, kind of like you're looking at the way people look and younger? Let's talk about this. Let's be big boys and big women. Okay, ready? Let's talk about this young, innovative nonsense that doesn't exist. Yeah, I mentioned it the other night. I just finished reading the book, Fast Thinking, Slow Thinking, and I see by Carson, I believe. He won the Nobel Prize in economics. You know, and let's use that second level thinking. Okay, there's nothing that these younger coaches who have nothing on their resume are bringing to the table. It's all gorilla dust. Zig Ziglar used to call it. It's just noise. You're telling me, well, look at all the touchdowns that the quarterback whisperer brought. Really? Was it this person, or was the fact that you can't go near a receiver without getting a penalty anymore? You can't. There's no Jack Tatum anymore. You can't unload on a receiver. So of course it's going to be better. Of course it's going to be better. You know, the stats going to be better. So you can't look at these things. Well, I got the stats right here. We call it the L7642. You're just too stupid to understand it. We created something. We marketed it well. We get paid well. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. So you really don't think there's a correlation between the fact that quarterbacks are throwing more touchdowns because defenders can't hit the receivers? You really want to believe that? Now again, I'm not saying that 38-year-olds shouldn't be a quarterback, a coach. God bless. You see, working with the Rams. But you're also telling me that there's nobody as an assistant coach in college football that deserves that same break? Some top 25, top 50? There's nobody, if you're going to give a break to somebody, there's nobody that you give a break to? Doing some really good things in college? But you know, Daren, the college, you don't talk out of both sides of your mouth, Daren. Because we know that the college game and the pro game are different. You mentioned Saban being terrible with the Miami Dolphins. Lou Holtz being terrible with them. but those are individuals. How did Jimmy Johnson do with the Cowboys? How did he do? College coach. How did he do? Well, that's different. That's different because he had Troy Aikman. Really? Or did he help create those people? Put them in a good environment because he knew how to coach? Denny Green, he never won a Super Bowl. He's one of my favorite coaches. Did a great job with Minnesota. Came out of nowhere. Where's the next Denny Green? Why isn't the next Denny Green, patrolling the sidelines? Why do we have these gurus that aren't gurus? What if they won? What if they won? Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to be Dabo Swinney and go to the NFL and do well because we saw what happened with Saban. Couldn't get out of his own way. Couldn't run fast enough back to college. But you're telling me that there isn't, that the NFL couldn't do a better job finding some coaches somewhere, even in some of the non-25 top 25 schools? And I'm not saying if you're an assistant you earned it, but really, how did Gase earn it? He got a shot with Miami. It was terrible. You got to give it to the Jets now? He couldn't win in the division. Gase couldn't win in the division that had the Jets in it. He couldn't win in a division that had the Buffalo Bills in it. Well, at least he could beat the Patriots. A couple of times, let's be honest, let's be fair. A couple of times the Dolphins did when it was warm. Now, I think Donald will be successful despite having, this coach. So, but again, what are we talking about? These central casting people with the look. And every time they're walking slowly, you hear the music, they got on the little hoodie thing. And so, whatever happened to a shirt and tie? What's that? I don't want to go there, sound like the old guy. I don't need to wear that. I love what Belichick wears. Just a hoodie and let's go. But what did you bring? Well, he's younger. He should be able to talk to today's player. What does that mean? That's another fake nonsense. No, it's not fake, Daren, because we got social media now. Yes. Well, you had other problems too. Back in the 40s and the 50s, you had to talk to people about being tired because there's no planes. There's all buses and trains. Just different issues. The game, if anything, is easier now. It's faster and people are bigger, no doubt. But you're not taking a helmet between the eyes. Go watch that hit on Terry Bradshaw. I told you I was going to talk about Terry Bradshaw. Go watch that hit on Terry Bradshaw in the Super Bowl, 1975 season. It took place in early 76. Lynn Swann catches it deep. Really the game breaker. Watch that hit. No penalty. So, let me ask you this. Now again, we talked about this yesterday. Bring your A game. You're going to get a master's degree in sports knowledge. And I'm going to get a master's degree from you. The QBR nonsense, the fake QBR, it shouldn't exist. That's just a talking point as people sit in front of coffee cups with no coffee in them. Nothing. They talk about the QBR. Well, the Bradshaws of the world, the Fran Tarkingtons of the world, the Craig Mortons of the world, they knew that, throw a deep pass. Maybe it's caught, maybe that's a punt. Got a great defense, don't worry about it. Do you think Terry Bradshaw had some 38-year-old telling him what to do? He'd tell Chuck Noll go pound rocks, go kick rocks. Called his own plays. Joe Namath called his own plays. Well, it's more complex these days. No, it's not more complex. You know what's complex? I don't care that they're 325 pounds now. They can't hit you. Back then, they could abuse you. Joe Namath, in my opinion, and this isn't being a New Yorker, called the greatest Super Bowl game of all time. He beat the Colts. He knew how to do it. And he did it by pretending to throw and running the ball a lot and short passes, not long. He called every one of those plays. Run, run, run. He won MVP on the way he called the game. It wasn't from his arm. When Roger Staubach would be down, Terry Bradshaw down. Now, then you had to merge. You had to merge like Joe Montana. His head coach called a great play. He designed the first 15 plays of the game. Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. But he would call out of that stuff all the time. And it's not even the fact that sometimes you call the right play or you agree with that call. You got to be able to deliver. Got to be able to deliver. So, I hope Gase does a great job. I hope I'm on here a year from now saying, I was so wrong. I'm so happy with the Super Bowl. I don't mind being wrong. That's how you learn, right? You learn from learning things, both things you thought you knew, assumptions that you made, and things that you were wrong. You learn from it. That's a great thing. But just because the LA Rams are doing okay, the next young thing. But again, what are they bringing? Because if it's the knowledge of a game where you hit less, you cover less, you're off the line on onside kicks. You could, the rules are different now on kickoff coverage. And trust me, I was on kickoff. Well, that's because you weren't talented, Daren. No, that's because I wanted to make the team, and I made it on that way and busted my ass and moved up. And all of those guys that were on kickoff return like I was, man, I felt they're helping the game. Helping them win the game. They don't get the glory, but they deserve it. They deserve it. Your special teams deserve it. You make fun of Tony Romo. Why? Because he dropped the snap. Couldn't put the ball down. So keep making fun of your special teams. So we're a little bit over already. Look, truth is a lot of these coaches aren't going to work out. NFL, you could do a lot better job picking your coaches. But at the same time, it's not mandated. I don't think you're evil. I think you're short-sighted. But I'm a capitalist. And you know what? You spend your money. And at the end of the day, I guess I'll go back to the Jets. The Knicks laugh at you. The Knicks. The 10-win, 32-loss Knicks. But you know what, Knicks fans? You know what, Jet fans? You keep going to that stadium. You keep buying the bacon, and then put less and less bacon in it. Those seats are still full. You can keep your tickets. Most of them are corporate dollars. And for you people like I did that worked 2 jobs to try to afford your season tickets, I feel bad. You still get your tickets, but don't go. Well, that's a waste of money. No, you're investing in the future. You're investing in the future. Because these ridiculous clown car sideshow coaches, carousel, it's going to continue as long as you fill a stadium. As long as you fill a stadium. They could look like they're busy. You don't think Todd Bowles knew he was going to be fired? Again, the best you can do is Kingsbury, Cardinals. What's the rush? Oh, this guy's off the market. Then this is it. Why are you running? Where are you running to? You wouldn't have been able to get him in a week? You wouldn't be able to? I don't know. Why? We got to get ready for the draft. We talked about that already. Fallacy. Here's what you can do. You could say, all right, here are my top 5 candidates. Listen, we're going to take a while trying to figure this out, but you should act as if you got the job. Now, I know you're interviewing other places, but act like you had the job. And figure out who you might want to pick in the draft. How about that? And what do you think? Let me know. Like, subscribe, share. We love the interaction. Thank you for being here tonight. We want to wish the Fresno Junior Monsters, Pee Wee Monsters, a great job. Have some fun. Enjoy Canada. Get to the Hockey Hall of Fame. We think that the NFL could do better. It's just who are these guys and why do they earn it? Do you know that in college there's some assistant somewhere at a mid-level school, been there 20 years, never got a shot. That's why I'm a big fan of Bruce Arians. I want to see him do well. Earned it. How about these other guys out there doing the grind, right? being a surrogate dad, teaching these kids things, and they know the game. Give them a shot. If you're going to take some Charlie retread or get somebody on the cheap, how about you give somebody who has a resume